Hello everybody and welcome back to WoW Mods. This time around we're going to be doing something a little more different. And the reason for that is one of the more popular mods that on the channel, or one of them, the ones that gets most attention or comment, is the High Elven mod of Quel'Aman, which is a custom area that I've made and that I've actually put into the game. Now, one of the things that a lot of people don't understand or notice is that that particular area, or at least they don't know. I've made mentions to it, but there's a game-breaking issue with that area that I created. It's due to the older software I used years ago when I was starting to develop some of these lands. And so the area is kind of broken, and I'm very sure that I can actually fix it, so that shouldn't be too much of a concern. But this video, what it's going to address, and it's just going to show you where the land is located. Because I have a lot of people who have obviously pointed out on where they think it should go, or where they think it is. The truth of the matter is, I built it in a specific area of the map, and it's not going to be possible to move that. So I might as well show you how that works. So there are two ways that you can reach this particular area. One way of doing that would be to actually take a flight path, or in this case I don't know if it's going to be easier to create just a teleporter NPC that will work like a flight path NPC. So I'm going to bring you down over here to this area, and this is where you will find in the future the fully working flight path. So we have here, and this will be Skymaster Liana, and she will be the Dragon Hawk Master, and she will teleport you. She'll be right next to Cedric Prose, which is the Griffin Master, who will allow you to create that connection. Additionally to that, I will show you what the flight point is, the point of arrival, which is a little bit different, but that gets close to the area of this region that is a little bit iffy. So right now we're just going to fast forward to another point so that I can show you what is the ground route to that particular region. Alright, so the ground route to this particular region is if you head to the east of Arathi Highlands towards the mountains, you will actually start entering what is a troll territory. You're seeing some of the bits of lag spike here. Precisely because of the errors that we're having in the region. So this is something I have to take care of before I fully implement this into the games. And we can actually start seeing some of the area over there in the back. Okay, sorry about that hard cut. I just wanted to decrease the viewing distance so that we would have not as many issues from that modded area. So if we come to this particular part of the map, we will actually start coming across the trolls. Now, one of the things is that these are some of these buildings were made before we had access to the Amani trolls per se. So there is a bit of I would say modernization, not modernization, but making it fit the theme of forest trolls a bit much. So you can see that while some of these structures still haven't been changed, as you come into this area, you now have like the proper forest troll buildings around these areas. So these are the trolls and sort of their ancestral homelands, and this is where they call home, right next to the mountains. Now, the thing about lore-wise, if you want to talk a little bit about that, although it's a little bit silly, the High Elves were always in sort of a constant struggle with forest trolls, because when they came to the Eastern Kingdoms, they had to settle or create their own lands in what used to be forest troll or Amani troll territory. So we have a lot of this, which is new. This has been replaced to match sort of the forest troll aesthetic, even though these are witherbarks, but they still belong to sort of the forest troll tribes, which is why they're green. So eventually we come to this point, and though this point is hostile, to get to that point, to get to the to where we're actually going to be going, it's important that that we understand that this is a threat, and sort of the local problem that these elves will have to deal with is they will have to face off against these forest trolls to try and gain control of the mountain path. So there is a high mountain path that leads into the actual lands, and as you can see, it's very irregular. The idea was sort of to pull on a bit of I guess those hidden, like, troll native mountain settlements, I guess, and then seeing perhaps the remnants of what the High Elves had done in the past to try and claim some of these lands as their own. Just like they have a presence in Hinterland, they have a presence in the region, which, if I'm gonna be perfectly honest, I'm just gonna go back. If we enter this, we should actually be getting the name of the region, although... Okay, so we see here that this is part of the Ancient Wilds region where they have this connection. And in this particular area, we have the Troll Woods. And the Troll Woods, as I've shown you in the past, are these forest troll settlements. There's a pyramid on that end of their map. They have this village here. They have these very specific and different approach to other forest trolls. I tried to make them unique in this way, and so and their forests as well are pretty much littered with masks and chimes. This was at some point very much their domain and their land, and that's what I wanted to do with this area, is that if you come through the ground route to this area, you will have to pass through troll lands. And if you're starting in this area, you will also understand that you have to essentially fight. So here we have some of the guards. Some of the skins are a little bit different because I still haven't implemented the old skins. Not the old, the new skins for some of these guards. And as we begin to make our way into what used to be this settlement, which to me is nothing more. This settlement isn't meant to be a huge city. It's merely meant to be an ancient spot, quite possibly amongst the very first spots that the High Elves tried to settle in. But this remains sort of, I'd like to think of it as a summer retreat, or as a retreat for the Sunstriders. And now it's sort of been restored by whatever, let's say, campaign that you want to take into account. And so this is essentially the area that we've seen before. You've now seen how we actually access it from Arathi Highlands, and I think that was one of the more important things that I wanted to do in this video. But I also want to show you where the flight path would be, and hopefully we won't get too much lag or we won't crash, because we're starting to get close to the areas that are presenting problems for us. So if you come through this area, you will find that right here, this is the flight paths. So from the bottom of Arathi Highlands to this particular area here, this is where you would arrive if you were to take the flight path, or the flight path NPC, whether it be teleport or an actual flight path. At this point, it's fairly irrelevant. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to go up here, and I just want to show you again how this area continues and some of the things that I actually plan to do with this area in the future. As soon as I manage to clean up, oh, there we go, bit of lag there. I'm actually going to turn fly off so I don't just barrel in to different things. Interesting things that you have to understand and pick up on this area is that there is a moonwell here, which is surrounded or decorated with High Elven decor. Now, this is not an accident. In the future, I plan to develop a full campaign for this area, or at least create a series of quests in which there will be a bit of warming up between Night Elves and High Elves to restore this area. And part of that help, I think I've shown before, is if you come to this particular area, you will find that atop of this is a Night Elven camp with essentially the people who will be teaching one particular Night Elf to in druidic teachings to maintain, for example, the land as they see fit. So that'll be a bit of a warming up between these two cultures who had been fundamentally opposed in their views. Now we're getting closer to, this is the starting forest area, and we're starting to get closer to the areas that will actually produce the lag. You've seen this in some of the past videos, but it's getting a little bit worse. So, well, it's not actually getting a bit worse, but it is pretty bad. My computer is actually quite powerful, so in order for my computer to lag down to 10 frames per second, it means that its most current other computers would definitely crash. And so here we are, and we're at the edge of the area, and it ends with, of course, what I'm calling the mother tree, which is, again, according to this lore, this particular type of tree from which all other trees were taken. So that's pretty much what I wanted to show you in terms of this land. I wanted to show you how it actually connects with the rest of the world, that I tried to integrate it as much as possible with everything else, and try to it's one of my favorite areas because it is I've put a great deal of care of trying to have it be similar to other areas, but at the same time different, have its own particular spin. And I will be working on adding more details and making this area better, but first I have to take care of that problem. So I hope you've enjoyed watching this video, although you could already see what we've achieved. But I wanted to show you this video, show you where the land was, give you a little bit of context of how I think it fits in with the lore. and what potential campaigns or quests can happen in the future. So I guess until then, everybody, take it easy, and I hope to see you soon.